I feel like I say this a lot, but I'm going to be completely honest in saying that it's been a little while since I've played Airport CEO. The last episode, I don't remember when I recorded that, but it was definitely at least a week ago, and since then, I've honestly had a bit of a hellish week. Nothing super dramatic, just a lot of technical stuff going on that's been a total pain. My internet has been a nightmare. My recording softwares have all had various updates that have reset various settings, and it's just been one of those weeks. You know, the internet started going, then the recording stuff started going, then I started getting a little bit sick. It's been one of those weeks. Now, with that said, I do keenly remember doing this and setting up these self-boarding desks for this Olympus Airlines, or whatever they're called, Olympus organization, flights. And I've been watching this working for the last, I'll say 30 minutes that I've been dabbling with the game a little bit. And I still absolutely love it, and I still absolutely want to go to all of the medium aircraft stands and replace these large boarding gates with 5 of the self-boarding gates. Not only is that going to mean that we don't have to worry about having passenger service agents, it just gets people boarding that little bit quicker, and I think that's going to be a good thing. It seems like it works really, really well. I mean, you'll see it with everyone that goes to board this Maple flight in just a second. It takes not that long. It's not a major problem. I want them to be able to board the flight a little teeny tiny bit quicker. So that's a thing I totally want to do. But I'm thinking that we're probably not going to do that until we go ahead and close the airport and do a lot of restructuring. And I'm not really sure what way that's necessarily going to apply. I don't really know what happens if I just go to my dashboard and sort of operations and say, you know what, turn off the airport. I have no idea. Also, apparently we're not doing avgas refueling. I don't know why that was turned off. But yeah, I have no idea what happens if I just go and turn the airport off. I don't know if it cancels all of the flights, or, you know, it's probably a bit of a process, because when you schedule flights in here, or when they're automatically scheduled, from my understanding at least, you end up with, yeah, so this one right here is 5 recurring flights, right? So you've got some flights scheduled later into the week. That's why it starts clearing out as you go along, because the recurring flights start to sort of filter out a little bit. So what I'm wondering is, if we were to close the airport today, will we still have, admittedly very few, but we might still have some flights scheduled for next week, right? That's kind of my thinking. Also, these stores do not have contracts anymore. Let's go ahead and see if we can get FlyGo into there. Let's go ahead and see if we can get, what are we going to go for? Quick Stop into there. And this one can be, this one's already Swift Veg, so that's totally fine. So we'll keep those going. I have renewed some contracts on some of these stores up here, and I have been looking at the other little terminal as well, which does have Bell Beer in there. I had to renew that contract, but it's doing okay. I love this little terminal. I don't really look at it since we built it, but oh my god, there's a lot of people in there. Are you all going through this terminal, or are you all waiting to reclaim baggage? I have a feeling they might be waiting for baggage reclaim, and that slightly annoys me. Yeah, they are. Seriously? Seriously, that's what we're... Okay. Okay, then, sure. That's excellent. Okay. I'm not... not really sure how I feel. Well, I say I'm not sure how I feel about that. I know exactly how I feel about that. I'm not exactly thrilled. We also have so many people out here waiting for buses and taxis and cars, and I have no idea what to do about that, so I'm not really going to do much about it. And other than all of that, the other thing that I've gone ahead and done is started putting in taxiways for the large runways that we have out here. And what I'm thinking I'm going to try and do is hopefully create some kind of system where the planes can kind of keep moving a bit more regularly. I want to have some crossover points and stuff like that, so I want some taxiway to come straight in here, but I also want it to go straight in there, and then maybe I don't know, up here somewhere and up here and up here. I want things to, I want them to flow as best as they possibly can is what I want things to do. So I don't know if I'm going to necessarily do a one-way system for taxiways. I'm kind of thinking I probably won't, but we'll see what ends up happening. I am hoping that these runway entrances / exits work the way I want them to, because if we have a little look at this spot here, this blue marker is where large aircraft take off from. That green marker is where medium aircraft take off from. So my thinking is that these different entrances and exits will be ways for medium aircraft to get onto the runway at their takeoff point rather than having to go here and take off from there. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. I'm just kind of messing about with entries and exits to see what they do, basically. And then I'm thinking once all this is built, I'm going to try my best to get this up and running in a fairly basic way. So what I'm thinking we'll do, and what we can do, is go in with some taxiways a bit like this and have everything sort of connected. So this will run right up to here. We'll obviously be connecting up here as well. These guys down here are obviously connected. But my thinking is I might be able to do this whole change to the large runways without having to go ahead and close the airport. I've just kind of realized this, because if I have this connection here, whilst it's going to certainly slow things down, what I might be able to do is just have this be our way out to the runways. And sure, it's going to mean that the planes are landing and then taxiing in here, and then they have to go out in the same direction, and it's going to slow things down, but it'll be temporary, and it means, like I said, I'm not going to need to close the airport. And I think that's probably kind of a big deal. You know, the whole not closing the airport thing. So hopefully that's something I can manage to get away with. What I am going to go ahead and do as well is throw in a little bit more taxiway going to there. And a little bit more taxiway going to there. And I think what we'll do is we'll go up and kind of do the same up here. So we could go to, we could just do that actually, which I think we will do. And I'm not gonna bother connecting this over, but we'll have that. We'll have these guys, and what I'd really like to do is that the midpoint, that is the midpoint. So if I go here and do something like this, I want to basically just have a bunch of points at which the aircraft can get onto the taxiways rather than having to go along these big old strips. Because what it means is, say this plane taxis back, comes down here and goes over this way and down onto the taxiway. It means these guys can still come out and go down here. So this strip of taxiway might be one way. This strip of taxiway right here might be sort of down only. That might be the way to do that. And then this guy might be down on. So basically what we might end up with is this way is... Okay, we might end up with some one-way system. Sorry, I'm not being very clear with what I'm thinking, but I think I've worked out a way that I might be able to have this actually work. I might be onto something here. I might not be. There's every chance that I'm an idiot, but I'm hoping that I might be onto something is what we're going to go for the time being. And if I am, then, you know, my genius is frightening. Anyway, let's go ahead and just put a little bit of taxiway there and there. And like I said, we can get this all connected up this way at some point as well. I really do wish the game would let you just put in the taxiway paths before the taxiways are built. And then they just don't work if there's no taxiway there. Because it would mean I don't have to sit and, I mean, I don't have to do it bit by bit like this. I could just ignore it until it's all built, which I guess is what I'm going to do because I'm rambling about something that's a non-issue. Anyway, speaking of issues and things that might actually be issues, I'm wondering if we should add a bathroom to this baggage reclaim area. So let's go ahead and put some terminal foundation in there. Let's go ahead and not have walls in there either. We can go ahead and we can take out the windows is what we can do. We'll get some walls in there and we'll just turn that into a bathroom. And it's probably going to be a nightmare, that bathroom, because it's going to have so many people trying to go to it. But it might, you know, it might be for the best. I'm also wondering if we can... Yeah, we really do need to close the airport, don't we? Because I was going to delete these guys and then extend the check-in area, wasn't I? That was kind of a whole thing, was delete those guys and extend check-in into that whole space. Because that whole space is essentially unnecessary. It's not being used for anything, so might not be a bad idea. Extend check-in a little bit, and security seems okay. I don't think we've had any issues with security thus far, so might not be a bad idea is what I'm getting at. I think check-in being extended could be... I mean, I remember talking about it, right? I do remember talking about that a lot. And then we also had the idea to extend baggage as well. I was going to change this whole thing up, but I don't know. We'll see. I do want to look at my airport rating, though, in terms of... So in terms of security, we're actually very good. In terms of... What is this? I don't know what this... So terminal quality is not very good. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so if I have a little look into... So proactive cleaning and repairs are enabled. If we have a little look in here to janitors, let's go ahead and hire a couple more of you guys. Let's go ahead and hire some service technicians as well, or, well, we'll get a couple of them. And that'll hopefully fix things a little bit. If we look at our staff and we go to janitors, and, I mean, we can train all of you up a little bit if we really want to, which I don't really have an issue with. Might not be a bad idea to look at the terminals overlay, though, and see what's going on. So, what do we got? What do we got? So this is assigned employees. We have 10 janitors and 8 service technicians. Let's just try and get more. I get the feeling we're gonna need a few more in there for that particular terminal, given the size of it. But I suppose we'll see. This is very nearly done up here. It'd be kind of nice if they'd hurry up a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But they seem to have stopped and started on the little... On these bits here, so... I guess that would be a terrifying thing there, walking across an active run... Oh my god. Yeah, just walking under this active runway, or across this active runway, don't mind us. Sure, that's... yeah. Then again, I do have vehicles and civilian public vehicles driving right next to an active taxiway without any kind of fence, so... I guess I'm not really one to be in a position to judge there, am I? My airport layout probably leaves a lot to be desired. I don't know. I've been reading a lot of comments recently on the various series that we have going on the channel right now. And one of the most common things I'm seeing is this guy has no idea how to play this game. Now, not specifically Airport CEO. I don't know if I've seen much of that in the comments of this series. I'm sure it's there, but I've seen it a lot on Prison Architect, and I've seen it a lot on Stonehearth. And I don't know, I'm not going to put out a separate video talking about it because it's not a big deal. I just think it's I think it's funny. And I'm not being sarcastic. I genuinely think it's kind of funny because I've never tried to I've never tried to be one of these channels that's like, hey, here's the most optimal way to play this game. Here's me, your resident video game genius. I'm the person that built a big old square in City Skylines, called it a battery, and got 1 million views for it. That's me. And I've done it 4 or 5 times since in 5 different series. Oh, by the way, I've also built a battery in about 3 other games as well. Yeah, I just... genuinely not trying to just be sarcastic there. I'm completely serious. I'm not... I am well aware that I'm not particularly amazing at a lot of the games I play, but I'm just having fun with them, especially Prison Architect. And if you watch that series, I appreciate you. And if you put up with that series, I appreciate you. But it's like... I think I said at the start of that series that I had, I turned on if you don't watch it, there's an option in there that makes trees grow really rapidly, and chopping down trees and selling the wood, it's like Minecraft. It's a really good and kind of not cheaty way, but it's a very cheap way to get money fast. So say you want to rapidly expand your prison. So, you know, we can use Airport CEO as an example. So let's say I wanted to rebuild my airport really quickly and I didn't have a lot of money and I wasn't making a lot of money. This mutator for the game lets trees grow really rapidly. So say, you know, these are some trees down here. They would start growing really quickly. I could then go tell my workers to cut them down, and then we would export the logs from the prison as a way to make money. And because they grow so rapidly, you can make money really, really quickly. I always enable that because I'm just having fun building a prison. Same way I'm kind of having fun building an airport here. And if we do start running out of money, I'm going to go in, I'm going to take a loan, and we're going to try and hope that it works. I'm just chilling. I'm just having fun with video games. That's all I'm doing. That's all I've ever done. So I'm not pushing the boat out with this YouTube channel. I'm not trying to be anything more. I'm not doing guides because I have no idea how video games work. It's like when people ask me, how does YouTube work? How do you make money from YouTube? And I have to step back and go, well, I've been doing this full time for 4 years and I have no idea. It's like, how do you grow a YouTube channel? I don't know. I built a city in City Skylines that looked a bit like a wedding cake and somehow people liked it. That's my legacy, by the way. That's my legacy. Oh, you're that guy that built the wedding cake city. Oh, tiered city, but sure. Sorry, I'm getting really existential right here. I'm having a bit of a crisis. Oh, man. All right. Well, the good news is I'm pretty sure we can go ahead and open this runway. So I'm curious to see what ends up happening with it, to see if anyone actually uses it. Because if they do, it would be nice. I'm not gonna lie. I would really like to see this runway actually get used. That way I know I can go ahead and close the other one. But thus far, nothing. Which is probably fine. Do we want to set it? Oh, that's why. Medium aircraft can use that runway. There we go. So let's see. Is anybody going to use that large runway to land or take off? I really hope so. I'm really, really hoping so. Because like I said, it means we can go ahead and close the medium runway to the left there. I also don't know if the entry and exit points are in the right places. We might need to just go ahead and say common takeoff mode. That might be for the best. But we'll see. We'll give it a minute and we'll see if the game works it out. What we might do is once the taxiways up here are done, we'll open the second runway as well and we'll say it can have that common takeoff mode. And if it starts working, then we'll just have them both be in that same mode where it's common takeoff position, which means that some of the taxiways aren't going to be necessary, but that's kind of okay. I'm not really too worried about that. Although I do realize something I should be doing here as well is bringing this taxiway across here and across here as well. That way we can have planes go straight across if they want to use that runway to take off. Now, does that mean that we want to do the same here? Probably not. Or actually, no. Yeah, we do want to do that. We want this to be connected down this way. So let's do this kind of thing. And do I want to do the same up here? I guess I'll connect it, but I'm not sure that we need to be connecting this. So we'll do this as well. There we go. We'll have that in there. We can go ahead and say that this can be connected together. And that gives us a connection for that runway. And I don't think anything's used this runway yet. Let's set this to common takeoff position then and see if it actually starts getting used. It'd be really, really nice if it did. I'd love to see it actually get some use here. I really would. Because like I said, it means we can get rid of this runway on the left and it means we can, I don't need to connect it to anything, do I? No. Not going to be general aviation. Entrances are connected. I guess we probably just have to wait a minute. Okay, so I've closed the medium runway and we do have a medium aircraft coming out and taxiing to use. There we go. Look at that. That's not something I want to see. I don't want them to... Let's try turning off... Let's try going back to aircraft-specific takeoff modes here and see what that does. So you taxi in. You're going to that runway, which is aircraft-specific. That works perfectly. Look at that. Okay, not bad at all. Let's go ahead and demolish this runway is what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of it. We're going to go ahead as well. We're going to get rid of the runway entrance and exit. And we're going to clear out a little bit of this taxiway as well. And then we can go ahead and just, hopefully, fairly soon, just change a lot of things up here. So, bulldoze you. And we'll bulldoze that as well, I guess, because we can. And we'll bulldoze this little bit of taxiway too. And that'll get us some money back, which is certainly a good thing. But I think this is, I think this is going to have the effect that I wanted to have, where the planes can sort of, you know, taxi out in a variety of different ways. That's kind of what I'm hoping for here. So that one taxis out and it goes straight across. This one kind of has to wait. That one kind of has to wait. Yeah, they have to wait a little awkwardly right now. But now that that runway is gone, what I should be able to do is go in and add some foundation here. And then I can go in and I can add some foundation here as well. And we can not demolish you and just add some foundation like this. And in doing that, we should create a situation where the planes should be able to taxi around again in a variety of different ways that are hopefully not going to completely interfere with each other. Which is good. That is definitely good. I'm also looking at this and thinking that it might not be a bad idea to go in here and say, get me some service roads that go up like this and that go like this so that I can go ahead and demolish. No, there is an entrance there. That's a little bit of a problem. I'm not really sure how I feel about the entrance being there, but I guess what we could do is just demolish this. And then we'll just demolish those stands as well. So we'll go ahead and we'll demolish each of these stands. And then that'll give us a little bit of extra space. If we got rid of that taxiway, I mean, we could get rid of that taxiway, to be honest, and just push it through here and straight down. Which, actually, looking at it, might not be a bad idea to do something like this. That way we can... Well, we're going to get a pretty good amount of space anyway. Do I want to... No, let's not demolish that. Let's keep it for the time being. And let's keep the taxiway there. Let's do this for the time being. I'm gonna keep the taxiways the way they were. This guy is gonna come straight over and connect through eventually. But like I said, the way I want this to work is I want the planes to be able to take a variety of different entrances and exits onto the taxiway to get around. That's kind of the whole idea. So I'm really hoping this works. Alrighty, I think I've got everything set up the way I want it to be. If I'm not mistaken, this plane will, yeah, it turns out that way and will now taxi down, turning off there and going straight across the runway, then turning down this way to go and leave on this runway. Which means if the airport is very, very busy, we should be in a situation where multiple aircraft can taxi back at any one time and can start moving out to runways at any one time. Now, this is obviously just a very big grid of taxiways right now, and we're not actually doing anything with large aircraft, but I'm kind of okay with this. It also means that this plane coming in can go straight across here and, you know, not have to go past these guys. So it generally means that we're probably in a pretty good spot here in terms of having various aircraft taxi out to where they need to be. And I'm kind of okay with that. I'm liking how this looks. I think it looks pretty decent. I think it's doing everything that we need it to be doing. We got a lot of planes moving around the way we want them to be moving around. So no complaints from me. Now, having a look here, we don't have that many planes coming and going right now, which is a little bit of a worry. We've only got 43 booked for tomorrow. It seems like we're not, like we have nothing on the Olympus and Maple things here. So I'm going to turn off the auto planner for a second, and I'm going to have a little look at Olympus, and I'm going to say, let's grab this and we'll throw it, I don't know, here, and we'll confirm that. Let's grab you and we'll throw it, say, there, and we'll confirm that. Then we'll grab you and put it, say, there, and confirm that. And that'll be something for Olympus for the next little while. I guess we can go back and we can look at Maple and we could do similar if we really wanted to. So let's throw that in there and throw that into that spot, and we'll confirm and go back to the auto planner. And hopefully, I'm trying to figure out what the issue might be here. I mean, let's bring the timer down to 35 minutes. I think we could manage that. I mean, looking at airline satisfaction, yeah, so it seems to be infrastructure quality is not fantastic, which is interesting because, well, that one's not great. We'll go ahead and repair a few of these and see if that maybe improves things for the airlines just a little bit. But generally speaking, the infrastructure is not that bad. I mean, that one's pretty terrible. But generally speaking, it's not that bad. That runway is actually terrible condition, given that it's barely been used, and that one's not great either. But I don't know. It'd be nice if the airlines liked me, is what I'll say. I mean, average is 72%. Their infrastructure fees they're not thrilled about those. And I'm noticing that I do think we're losing money. So that's good as well. That's kind of just what you want. So we really need to figure out a way to get the airlines a little bit happier. And I'm thinking what we're going to have to do, most likely, is bring the fees down a little bit. So let's bring this runway usage fee down to 2,000 rather than where it is right there. Let's bring the medium stand parking fee down to 360. And let's bring the catering down to 650. And that'll hopefully just get the airlines to be a little bit happier and maybe a little bit more inclined to give me a few more contracts, because I think that's what's kind of going on. I think it gets to a point where the airlines are like, hey, you're kind of charging a lot, bud, is what you're doing. You're kind of charging a lot, and we'd really like it if you didn't. So I think that's kind of what's going on. Let's get Shea Clara back in there. And yeah, let's just hope that the airlines, I don't know, start to like me a bit more and start to throw a few more contracts my way so we can actually... I mean, it's going to be a bit of a pain if what happens here is we build these beautiful big runways and then all the airlines are like, hey, so we don't want to fly out of your airport anymore. That would be... It wouldn't be ideal, is what that would be. It would definitely not be an ideal situation. Oh, you upgraded? Well, that's a shame. Shame no one's gonna use it. You know? Oh, that was a real waste of money, you idiot. Well done.